From Tennessee, from the east to the west, we are talking Cowboys everything. And you just entered
the Cowboys Zone.
Welcome back to another episode of the Cowboys Zone. I'm your host, Marcus Jones, coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee.
And this is Lambo from Cowboys, y'all, out of Johnson City, Tennessee.
All right, guys, thank you for joining us this week. We missed last week because Lambo and I both had to take care of some family business, but we are back like we never left. And joining us tonight are two very special guests. They have their own podcast that I've been following for a while, and I just had to make sure I brought them on to talk some Cowboys football with us. This has been in the works for a couple of weeks, so I'm really looking forward to what these guys got to say. So without further ado, guys, introduce yourselves.
What's up? I'm Zach. You can find me at Zach Star Boyz right down there. And make sure you check us out at Star Boyz Show. That's Star Boyz with a Z.
Yeah. Hey, man, this is Daryl coming y'all way, man. I'm out here all the way to the left out here in Seattle. I'm repping them boys out here from Seattle. What it is. What's up, fam?
What's up, guys?
Yeah, man. Thank you guys for joining us.
Loving it.
Reached out to Zach a couple of weeks ago. Schedules were kind of conflicting because we both doing our things, but tonight we made it work. And it couldn't have been at a better time because we got some Cowboys free agency to talk about or lack thereof. So we'll see if Terrell wants to lay back and kind of vent for a minute, or we can get this thing going. With the props.
Salty.
I'm telling you right now, I'm salty, so shit.
Same, man. I'm salty.
All right, so before we get started, what's up, Brian? Appreciate you joining us. Jeff, as always, we appreciate you tuning in. Matt Schlegel, looks like a new name.
Yes,
so appreciate you supporting us. You're probably a fan of theirs, so thank you for joining our podcast. Make sure you like. Make sure you subscribe. I'm Bluff City Cowboys, Lambo's Cowboys, y'all. We'll let these guys give their YouTube and social media at the end. William Coulter, as always, thank you for your support. And Matt Schlegel coming in with the questions already. So before we get started with what we have lined up, let's go ahead and go around, starting with you, Daryl. You think we're signing McCoy back?
I'm going to take deep breaths, y'all. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to try a new strategy for y'all.
All right.
Because I'm convinced that every time I want something, Jerry hears me and he does the opposite. So I'm going to tell you what I think.
Yeah.
I want us to sign Antoine Woods, Tyrone Crawford, Xavier Woods. That's who I want. Jerry, you hear me? That's who I want. That means don't do it.
I think we already tendered Woods, all right?
We already got Woods.
Of course they did. They did.
One down.
Oh yeah, of course they did. Do Xavier next. No, man, of course. I think look. I think it's on brand. I think it's everything that we expect of them. So do I think that they should sign guys? How you gonna sign a guy with a FCC? With a gosh dang coming off a gosh dang quad injury as a D lineman. Probably the thing that you need the most is your quads to get down and fire off. And he's coming off that injury, and they're probably going to re-sign him because it's the Jerry thing to do. Do I think they should? Of course not. Do I think that Jerry and Steven will? Of course I do.
Of course so. All right, Zach, let us know what you think.
Man, I don't feel good about it.
You think they'll resign him though?
Man, I don't know. There's so many options out here right now, right? And you would like to think that they would kind of look into maybe signing and that's something, a position of need at this point. So you would think that they would look into something, but it's knowing my Cowboys, man. It just feels very possible if you can get him at a cheap veteran minimum deal. I think they probably look that way right now. As you can see, we're not doing much.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And before you answer, Lambo, William, we'll talk about the DNs we signed later in the show. So be sure to tune in and stick with us. Spoony, all I can do is shake my head on that one. I mean, that's not happening, but we would love to see it.
I would love to see that.
Yeah. Mendoza, appreciate you joining as always. Sorry, Lambo, go ahead.
Oh, you good?
McCoy back.
I think they might take a wait and see approach with how the rest of free agency goes first. And I actually think he'll be. I don't think nobody's going to really be in a rush to sign McCoy coming off the injury at his age.
I agree.
I think he'll be sitting there after the draft. So I think we're really going to go into the draft, see how we can fill these holes. And if we don't really end up with the guy we want, in the middle there in the draft, then I think they'll take a look at it.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
I prefer to see what we can get in the draft, honestly.
You said pretty much everything I was going to say. So no point in me rehashing what you just said. So let's go into it. That's a great segue into our first topic, and that is the players that we've re-signed already. So just looking through the list, we got our special teams, CJ Goodwin coming back, 2-year deal. We got Noah Brown coming in on a 1-year league minimum. Joining him will be Cedric Wilson with that restricted free agent tender. And then you also got Antoine Woods on that tender as well. And then the big signing is Jordan Lewis.
Oh, I thought you were going to say the long snapper.
No, I'm just going through guys that we re-signed who on the team.
Re-signed. Okay, I'm going to wait. My fault.
We go in there first. I'll let you talk about your guys soon. But yeah. So we got Jordan Lewis, the big signing, signed back 3 years, $15 million. All right. So Zach, of any of those signings, if any, which one do you like the most of the guys we brought back?
Cedric Wilson to me, man. Cedric Wilson. I think he provides a lot for us at the wide receiver 4 position. And depending on what we decide to do going forward, I know with Michael Gallup's contract coming up next year, so we'll see. We'll see where that's at. I know, and Jordan Lewis it just seems like it's kind of the obvious one, right? I mean, we needed help. It's a body, and he's been solid. He's not been great, but been solid. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that we was over Cheeto. I didn't see that coming, honestly. I thought we would keep Cheeto and move on from Lewis.
Dare, you hit it around the head. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Which signing, if any, do you like the most of all the guys we re-signed?
I think of all of those. Look, man, I think out of those re-signings, although I'm salty and I wanted something bigger, I think CJ Goodwin's the best one. Look, that guy. Look, special teams. We get on this team a lot for their failures, but I got to say that I've been, if it's one of the three that performed, way better than they did the previous year. The special teams was pretty special under Fossil. Those guys are going to be legit. That group is going to be legit next year, and I think you can't afford to lose little pieces like that we, in the fan base don't pay attention to. When you keep guys that are special team aces and cores of the team, I think actually out of all of those guys that they re-signed, I think he's going to be he's the cornerstone. I think he's on every special teams unit that we have, and I think you don't lose guys like that for a couple $1 million. That's what they're there for. So I like him the best out of that group.
Lambo, what you got?
Definitely the guys you mentioned. Goodwin, he's definitely key to special teams. Noah Brown is kind of a big one in a way. I know it's not a big name, but he does a lot that really goes unnoticed.
Yeah,
I'm glad to see him back. But I guess I will go the most obvious one, Jordan Lewis, because I was really terrified. Once Cheeto signed with the Bengals, I was like looking at what we have, and I'm thinking, man, this is looking rough. And really, for the deal he got, it wasn't much more than what Anthony Brown got. Was it 2 years ago or a year ago, 2 years ago?
Last year.
And I think he's better than Anthony Brown personally. So I thought the deal was actually fair. But now I leave myself thinking, is Brown? You think Brown's sticking around, or you think they're saving a little bit of cap space before the season starts with him?
Personally, I don't see a scenario where you can have Lewis and Brown on the same team. Just me.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the history of the team, Brown has always been over Lewis. As much as Lewis has been a fan favorite, Brown has been the number 2 or number 3 corner every single year over him. So to me, when I see them give Lewis a contract like that, you're giving him the vote of confidence that I need you to be the 2 or 3. Now, the question is, are they going to let him beat Brown out? Because he hasn't in 5 years. So I don't know if you can keep both of them. And plus, I expect them to address corner in the draft. And that's just another body on top of what we already got.
Man, you know what is when you look at them, it's I don't know how, and I don't blame them because you can't get your eyes off Brown. Do you guys know his speed and his size?
Yep.
It's a that guy runs. I think isn't he a low 4.3?
He's a low 4.3 guy. Yep.
Low 4.3 guy. Do you know what the other guy is?
4.5.
Lewis is a 4.5 guy.
Yeah, 4.5.
You see what I'm saying? It's just so I see the attraction with Brown because from a metric standpoint, that guy is everything you want. He's 6'2", 4'3". I mean, he should be able to run with any guy in the league, but he don't play like Lewis. Yeah, I don't like either one of those guys from the mere fact that I don't think they give you anything that you can't get from an undrafted free agent for the money.
Okay.
I don't think they don't make impact plays. And that's the look, I never playing corner in the NFL, you're going to give up plays, but you should make some too. You got to impact the field. And I don't think either one of those guys consistently make impact plays. So for $3-4 million, what you getting?
No, I mean, with Jordan Lewis, you got 4 interceptions in his career.
Yeah.
So it's kind of it's just not a lot to be excited about, man. And it kind of concerns me, and it brings up the question: because we have talked about them possibly drafting corner
definitely
in the first round, but maybe were they thinking that they were going to slide over your boy Brown into that CB2 spot? Because I hope not. I hope not. But if that may be their backup plan.
Hasn't he always played on the inside? Has he played on the outside?
Brown actually started off on the outside.
Yeah.
Did he start off on the outside?
He did.
But they used him a lot as slot corner though, didn't they?
He's
For
awful
the most part.
Yeah. He's awful in the slot though.
Yeah, he's off on the outside.
But he's worse in the slot. I may put a safety down before I put him in the slot. He's really bad in the slot, in my opinion. Yeah. He has terrible hips for his speed. He's just a straight line guy.
He is. He's just too big. You know what I mean? He's too big and that's what I know Jordan Lewis does well, right? He has the perfect size to play the slot. Perfect size, right? And he has all those tools. But for me, like I said, guys, I know we got to move on. I just don't like that. I just don't like when you're paying. When you really look at an NFL roster and you see how the pay structure goes, there's only about 12 guys, 10, 12 guys making more than $1 million. And when I see those two that are in that position on the roster for the impact they bring, that's why I say, look, do I think that they're better than an undrafted? Of course they are. But for the impact, I'd save the money because I don't think I don't think for making $3-4 million that they're giving you that return. Right. So I wouldn't go with it, but
give me Kyle Fuller.
I almost need you to say that again, Dale, because I don't think the fans understand the variance in pay between the top 10 guys and the other 40. It's huge.
Isn't it? Most of the people on the roster are making less than $1 million.
Exactly.
Right. Most of them are mid-tier, you know what I mean, or making league minimum. That's why, man, drafting and look, who we pay, and most of us are, that's been around for a minute that are, in the fan base. I think that's the frustrating part. It isn't that we will give out the money. It's somehow in their evaluation process who they decide to pay, because you can't, if you get that wrong, you're in trouble. Look at Kansas City. They pay, but man, they've paid the right dudes.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and the ones that we didn't pay.
The right dudes. Right.
Lord.
You know what I'm saying? So
Lord.
And here's my other issue with the whole Brown Lewis thing. We've got Reggie Robinson sitting right there.
Right. 4th rounder last year, right?
6'2", 200 pounds.
Freak athlete.
Speed, freak athlete.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you give him a shot to get some snaps? Because if you want to find a prototypical cover 3 corner, you just look at Reggie Robinson. And that's
you just look at him. That's right.
But you just got these 2 other guys who have had 5 years of basically nothing, and you're paying them mid-tier pay. Are you going to just let them continue to leapfrog a Reggie Robinson, and then 4 years from now he's out the door?
And it's scary because where we were at last year, we didn't even get to see Reggie Robinson other than on few snaps. But I mean, we didn't really get to see what he was capable of doing, which is
right. And Zach, what you saying, man, it holds true, because when all of us saw Donovan Wilson get on the field, didn't your brain say, how in the heck did 23 make it on the field before Wilson when he was sitting there? It's like, now, don't get me wrong. There may have been some stuff in practice or whatever, but I'm talking about just from a pure playmaking skill set. I just don't understand how they evaluate, and especially the defensive back position, because it always seems that there's guys playing and they won't give, you put the guy out there, especially last year when you used that time to evaluate. I didn't see Robinson until the last couple of games.
And that was special teams only, yeah.
Right, special teams, right? So
let me go through and address a couple of these questions up here. So Matt Schlegel asks, why do we keep Noah Brown around and snaps are low? It's 3 phases to the game. Noah Brown he's not as important as Goodwin, but he's right under him when it comes to playing every special teams. On top of that, he only has 18 catches. I guarantee you 13 of them are first down catches. So his catches are impact.
Right.
And he gives you that blocking aspect that none of our other receivers will give you. So he gives you a lot of stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet.
You ready for that? You ready for the Cowboy term? Position flex.
Exactly.
Right. He was, remember, they had him when we were running a lot of H back too. They liked him in that position because he almost served as that fourth emergency tight end because he's such a big body. Right. So there's a spot for him.
Exactly. Yeah. And me and Lambo both, we were on the campaign hard, letting everybody know Devin Smith's not making this team. Whoever you like is not making this team over Noah Brown. And Lambo and I talked about that every week during the offseason, let these guys know. And I'll put my hat down right now and say, expect the same thing this year. Yeah. He may be a lifetime Cowboy, guys. I'm just letting you know. He's going to hold down that number 5 spot. So Jeff asked the questions, do you think we're not drafting any receivers? That's a good question. What do you guys think about that? Because we got a pretty full room right now.
It depends on what they're thinking about Gallup, in my opinion. I mean, are they looking to move him in the next year or before his contract's up?
Zach, like you about to say something?
No, that's the biggest question mark. Exactly what he said. That's the biggest question mark. What are we going to do with Michael Gallup? Do they want to look into go ahead and bringing in somebody to start to develop in place of him? It's possible. It's possible. I wouldn't count on it until like maybe the 4th, 5th round, but it's definitely possible. They'll be looking into it for sure.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big BPA guy, man. I'm huge in it. I think if you can get talent, it's never ideal. Look, it's just like I'm freaking out because I'm dreading certain players dropping to them at 10. But if you've done your job,
Sertan players.
What's that?
Sertan players.
Don't you start. Don't you start. But man, I'm a big BPA. So I think what if you got a third round rated guy and you there in the 5th round and he's a receiver? Heck yeah. Pick him up. I mean, I think getting a talented roster, and sometimes, and this is what Dallas doesn't do well, sometimes, man, I think they try to pay everybody just because they're good. And sometimes, man, you got to use that as leverage in the trade game. You know what I mean? And go ahead and take a guy if you're getting a lot of value for where they're at in the draft. It's not ideal. Do we need a receiver? No. But I think if you're getting tremendous value once you get past a certain round, if you're getting a tremendous value with that draft pick, I think you take them.
All right. Before we go on, shouts out to Dominic White. Appreciate you joining as always. Shane Odom, thank you for tuning in. The Lunatic, as always, we appreciate your great comments. Mendoza, I don't know if I missed you before, but as always, thank you for popping in and joining with your comments. Terry Rudd, I know you're not a Cowboy fan, but thank you for coming in and making your presence known. So back to what you were saying, Darryl. You talked about BPA. If Chase falls to 10, you take him.
Go ahead.
You knew I was going, Zach?
I knew exactly where you're going. I was going to ask him the same thing.
Oh, man. See, Zach know how I feel about this. Y'all setting me up. He trying to set me up.
I'll do it.
Don't let me put my Mary Berry. Y'all ain't know enough to know the Mary DC. Y'all setting me up. Dang.
Come on. BPA, man. Come on.
I got to hold true to what I believe. Yeah, I would.
I say it for you. Yeah, I'm taking it.
I'm with you too, and I'm gonna trade. I'm gonna get on the phone for Gallup right away. and see if I can get back in the second round or
Yes,
something for Gallup.
Right. I just think you have to. If a player like that falls to you, I think you're forced to rather than pass him up because of a need.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, how do y'all feel about Smith though? Say Devonta Smith falls to you.
I like him too.
Moved in.
I like him.
Enough?
I would only take him if I didn't like what else was left. I'm looking at special players at 10. Chase is a special player. I've seen Smith.
I like Waddle as much as I like Smith, to be honest.
Right. I've seen Smith and Waddle before every draft. I've seen that. I've seen that guy. I've heard that song.
Yeah, John Ross. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Chase is different.
Yeah.
I couldn't pass that up. I would consider both of them if
That's true.
a couple of guys I like weren't there. But yeah, Chase is probably number one no matter who's there, other than like a Slater for me.
Yeah.
All right, guys. So
how you feeling about Pitts?
Same.
If Chase is gone and Pitts is there.
Let me just say this because I've never said this on air before. This draft, in my opinion, has 5 special players: Pitts, Slater, Chase, Lawrence, and I'll throw Fields in there.
Fields, interesting. Fields over Wilson, huh?
Who's Wilson?
Zach Wilson.
You think Fields is going to be a better pro than Zach Wilson?
I didn't say he's going to be a better pro. I said special in terms of traits and talent. I think Wilson's going to come out. If they both are starting day one, Wilson's going to have a better rookie year, maybe first 2 years. But Fields just has it, where if you put him on the right team, you may get that kid from the Chargers. He just has that Herbert quality. But I think Wilson's a better pro. But if I wouldn't take I wouldn't take him at 10. But I'm saying those are my 5 special players.
Right. Say that again. So who was it? Lawrence,
Fields, Slater, Chase, Pitts. Those are the only guys I can look at and say in the past 5 years I haven't seen a guy comparable to them. And in that case, I couldn't pass them up other than the quarterbacks. Anybody else is all in that same range. You just give me who you think is the best guy.
So do you prefer Slater over Sewell then?
No.
No?
I see Slater to me, and I know Dominic's gonna get in on this one. Slater to me is a special guard. Like, because I look at a lot of college football.
Right.
I put him at or slightly above Zach Martin coming out of college. And they're both behind. Yeah, that's how high I am on Slater. And they're both behind Quentin Nelson, in my opinion.
Wow.
You're speaking my language. That's my guy, man. I like
Jamar Chase, Schlegel. Jamar Chase, the wide receiver from LSU.
And to answer your Matt Schlegel, to answer your question earlier, yeah, Jarwin would be back. I believe he's got 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah. But yeah, one of those guys that I haven't seen them in the past 4 or 5 years in this draft. You have to strongly consider it no matter who else is there.
I agree. And I actually mentioned something about this not too long ago, I've been wanting defensive heavy, right, in this draft. And then slowly but surely, I've been kind of just after evaluating Slater's tape, evaluating his film, man, the potential, the possibility of sliding him into that left guard position until or maybe keeping him there. We'll see, but maybe depending on what happens, with Tyron Smith,
right.
What do we do from there? But he's just that talented of a guy, and he fits the bill. He fits the mold for an amazing left guard. Could you imagine that offensive line?
Could you
imagine?
We
got Connor Williams. We don't need him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to replace. That's how.
Let's say, Marcus, you couldn't even keep a straight face.
I was about to shut my mic off for a minute so you wouldn't see me just fall on the floor laughing.
Have you guys ever read? We did a segment on our show where we're talking about players that make you spit. And have you ever read Connor Williams' pre-draft workout? Did you read his synopsis or his analysis? Analysis pre-draft?
I was very high on Connor Williams coming out.
You were low or big?
I was very high on Connor Williams coming out.
Hold on. If you read his pre-draft analysis, guys, I swear to God, you pull it up right now. It said under cons, not strong at all.
Right. That's not surprising.
And we said, we'll take him.
Right.
Yeah.
And
And
put
you
him
see
at
it on the
guard.
tape every year. Him
and a
just getting
certain-
bullied.
Right. He gets bull rushed, and it's right there in the. I'm like, not strong. They didn't say not very strong.
Not strong at all.
Not
At all.
strong at all.
All cap.
Damn.
I'd like to see McGovern win the left guard spot this offseason.
It's
Doesn't
not
it
going to
puzzle
happen
you?
now, Mo.
But doesn't it puzzle you that they
I don't
took him in the second? They took him in the second or third round, McGovern.
Second. Oh,
Second.
McGovern was
Third.
third. McGovern.
Third, but they had a
McGovern.
second round grade on him.
Right.
I didn't
How?
see it.
What happened? Was there any a story of why he didn't? Why wasn't he on the field? I know he got hurt his first year,
Yeah.
but why wasn't he on the field last year?
I don't know. When he was on the field, he looked good.
They like Connor Williams, I guess. I don't know.
It's crazy. It's been a huge question mark. That was a question mark at me from the beginning of the season. I'm like, where's McGovern? Where is that battle?
Yeah, he was inactive the first week of the season. I was like, what? Like,
Yeah, man.
Right. It just. But then when he got on the field, he looked solid. The same with the center.
mhm.
I was like, why
Tyler
is
Bean.
Joe Looney out there? Yeah, Tyler Bean. I mean, that dude looked solid. You know.
The talent evaluation all last year was a concern for me. I mean, how many times did you say, why is this man on the field over this other individual?
Mhm.
I mean, it was nonstop. So I'm hoping they kind of got some stuff figured out.
When I saw Jalen Smith was our dime linebacker, for you guys that don't know, dime linebacker means it's 3rd and 12, and he's the only linebacker on the field in an obvious passing down. That's when I knew they didn't know how to evaluate players. Unless he was blitzing, there's no reason for him to be on the field
Mhm.
as a dime linebacker.
Can you guys believe that this team is actually? Well, I think it's too late, right, Zach? They had until when? Or is there? When do they have that they can make him a post one cut before his salary is guaranteed?
Who's that?
Jalen Smith.
They I think you can choose like 2 guys that you can make a post one cut.
Okay, so I
Anytime.
thought so. Okay, it wasn't like the second or third day of the league year before his salary or something guaranteed. I do not know how he remains on the roster. How they, with a straight face, can keep him on the roster at $9.8 million.
It's because you ain't watching the film with a clear eye view, man. You need your
You
right
ain't swiping,
vision.
man.
Yeah, you need your right
Oh, you
vision.
got to swipe when you watch the film. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I still question whether or not he watches film. That's a whole nother segment in itself.
Which
Seriously,
is-
have you guys seen a worse NFL football player from just from a technical, from an eye discipline, from a stout? I don't think I've seen a worse one in the last couple of years.
He looks pretty bad out there.
Yeah, it was bad.
I've
They'll
always
line him up and roll him back out there, right?
throw him at Sam linebacker, set the edge or blitz, and get off the field on 3rd down. That's all I want from them, but they won't do it.
I've been saying that, man. I've been saying that. Like maybe they need to look into where he is, like position wise, man. I would have him as outside linebacker. I would have him in a lot more blitz packages. That seems
Use him the right way.
Yeah, I don't think he's getting used to his full potential. You don't need to be a middle linebacker.
I think we need to get a linebacker. I would like to see a linebacker drafted, honestly, in the first 3 rounds in this draft.
Bro, you know what amazes me? They let Joe Thomas walk for $2 million. And that dude brought hat. I just don't understand, man. Some of these, but you sign, J. Lou, but you let him go. I don't get it. Knowing that they're weak at linebacker. I don't know which one is worse, the cornerback room or the linebacker room. Bro, that linebacker room ain't got nobody but Jalen and LVE, right? Who else it got?
They still have
Francis Bernard and
who didn't play a snap of defensive.
Luke Gifford.
And they have Luke Gifford who didn't.
But didn't he? Yeah, he was hurt too.
Yeah.
No, he just didn't play.
Oh,
And he got suspended 2 games for a PED.
That's right. Francis Bernard, I am excited to see this offseason.
Okay, yeah, he was he was one of the rookies, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good in pass coverage, but we didn't really get to see him. So
The Lunatic says we have 4 days before the new league year begins. And I would have to go back and look at that because you might be right. They have a time they have to designate them. And Beard Game comes in with the
that stat's so misleading for Jalen, though.
Ain't it, bro? I mean,
It's very-
their brother's tackles was 15 yards upfield.
Or they picked on him in the pass game, man. And he would just,
Yeah.
get him a little.
And Dominique says the reason Connor Williams is starting is because he's actually better than Connor McGovern. I mean, at this point in his career, you can say yeah, but we haven't seen what McGovern is. I mean, you make a good argument, but I don't know what McGovern is. If that's the case, before last year, we could have said the reason Xavier Woods played over Donovan Wilson is because Woods was better. We didn't know because they didn't give him a shot.
McGovern looked real good at right guard, I thought, though, when he came in and played.
Looked good, man. I mean, you never saw him getting driven back, right? He was pretty stout. He was pretty stout as an anchor.
He missed on a couple of stunts, but I expect that for a guy who hasn't touched the field.
It's basically his rookie year.
Yeah. Other than that, he didn't give up a pressure. So yeah, so let's keep it going. I know we just talked about Joe Thomas, so the next topic up are guys that we had last year that we've lost in free agency. As Darrell just mentioned, we lost Joe Thomas to the Houston Texans for $2 million. Don't know how that could happen. We also lost Cam Irving, which is good for us because that's probably a 4th-round compensatory. We lost him to the Carolina Panthers, and then we lost Awuzie to the Cincinnati Bengals. So let's talk about Awuzie real quick. Are you guys? We kind of mentioned it a little bit, but how do you guys feel about that loss? Because that's really the key starter that we lost that's been signed to another team.
For me, it's depth, right? So that was one of my concerns. If I would have kept one guy from this defense coming over into this year, it would have probably been him, right? So I was a little bit shocked about Jordan Lewis. I think Cheeto's a little bit more solid of a player. Obviously, he can be on the outside. I know they talked about converting him to safety. Last year wasn't a good year for him, right? And he was injured for a good portion of it. So, and I already know the drill with Cheeto, right? It's not who you necessarily want starting outside as your CB2, but it's solid. You know, I know he doesn't get his head around a lot. There's been a lot of problems with him at some point in time. You do have to move on. I'm not necessarily advocating paying him probably as much as Cincinnati did.
$7 million a
year. Yeah. That's a little too that's too rich for me. Yeah. But is it going to hurt our team? Yeah, unless they make a move on another corner, it is absolutely.
And see, I don't get that. I don't get, again, guys. Look, I'm always looking holistically, right? And I'm looking holistically and go for, again. Remember, we talked about salary, matching salary to production, and understanding how rosters are built. For $7 million, that guy probably would have been in our top 8 or 9 players at that salary, right?
Easily.
And right, when you think about that, when you put it into that context, I would have done him exactly like I did Byron Jones.
Mm-hmm.
I would have. Good job, bruh, and been like, we didn't lose him. Right. We should have been saying, look, let me give you a ride to the airport, player. I mean, he just ain't worth that. He's not worth that salary. Yeah. And to another team who overpays, he may have been, but I say you just draft again, because again, go draft, because what he gave us in terms of, he just wasn't an impact player. I don't know what it is about what we do at the corner position and how we evaluate, but we never get. That's why Diggs looks so different to us. That's why Diggs, even with the plays that he gives up, he looks different, because look at him as a rookie. See, that's something that either you coach or you just have innately, right? He's a playmaker. He finds the ball. You know what I mean? And look, he's like Marcus Peters. I don't give a damn. That's corner in the NFL. He gonna give up some plays, but that brother gonna make some. He gonna impact. And so I'm okay with a corner that, you know what I mean, that impacts like that. And I'm not okay playing a corner who does not at all. So I didn't mind, Cheeto leaving. Good for him as an NFL player for getting your money. But I think Dallas made the right assessment with not paying him.
Yeah. Before you chime in, Lambo, guys, everybody that's watching, we're probably about halfway through. So if you haven't done so already, make sure you like this video. Make sure you share it to your personal page, share it to your favorite page. Let's get those algorithms up so we can get more people in watching and supporting. We got the Star Boyz in here with us, giving us some good content, and the people need to hear what they're saying. So, Lambo, before you go, let me say this. The other reason I don't mind Awuzie leaving, as deep as this draft is at corner, we could probably find a guy in the 3rd round who's going to give us the same production as Awuzie will probably give us at near league minimum price. It just made perfect sense. All right, Lambo, what do you think about Awuzie?
I mean, everybody made great points and pretty much hit the nail on the head. I was with Zach as far as Uzi is the one guy I was hoping that we could bring back. But realistically, in the back of my mind, I knew that he was going to go. Someone was going to pay more than we was going to offer. I knew that was going to happen.
Always.
I felt it happening. I was hoping we could bring him back, but I pretty much knew he was good as gone. So I do think we are going to, like Zach said, we're going to have to do something to shore up this cornerback position still in my mind.
Yeah. And
then, as Daryl said, I'm with you there as well. He doesn't really make those impact plays at all, you know. So hopefully in this draft we'll find the piece we need that can come in and make an impact. And we're finally going in a good direction with drafting corners. At least it looks like with Diggs.
Yeah.
So. And I do want to mention, as of 12 seconds ago, the Giants are signing Reggie Raglan to a 1-year deal, by the way. Throw that out there. Just popped up on my news.
League minimum signing. Same linebacker guy. Have they signed Kenny Golladay yet?
Ooh.
Not that I've seen, but I bet it's coming.
Oh, yeah. So, so Daryl, the lunatic came in with the answer to your question. You have to designate him before the new league year as a post-June 1 cut.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got a couple of days left. You never know what'll happen. And Shane Odom asked, is the scheme change on defense one of the reasons why the Cowboys are willing to build through the draft? I think it's not only scheme change, but coaching change. I mean, like Bill Parcells says, if you want him to fix the dinner, he has to at least pick out some of the groceries. So you can't have these guys coming in playing their scheme with guys they don't know.
Exactly.
They did a good job last year drafting guys, so I don't think those guys will be an issue no matter what Dan Quinn does coming up. But they're definitely going to pick some Quinn guys, I think.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And the lunatic says he thought Reggie Robinson's moved to corner, said Dallas wasn't signing Cheeto. I agree. Definitely something to think about. And for me, when you like what Daryl said, talking about he just looks different. There's two things you can't teach a player. That's awareness and that's hustle. We have years of guys who have zero awareness. Love Byron Jones.
Right.
Zero awareness. He can cover a guy and stay on his hip. But when it comes to turning around, making a play on the ball, he doesn't have it. We talked about Awuzie doesn't have it. Xavier Woods is pretty much come out and said he doesn't have either. These are the guys that we have had on this team that we've been drafting. And now, like you said, we see something different in the Diggs, and hopefully they build on that.
And how about Diggs? An example of that last year. Who was it that he chased down from behind and punched the ball out on the 1-yard line?
Metcalf. Remember? It was Metcalf when Metcalf toasted him.
A lot of corners would have just started jogging it off, man.
Right. Yeah. Or turn back and look for somebody else to blame.
That was huge.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Those instincts are just, man, at that level, your instincts, and like you said, Marcus, your awareness and your instincts are huge, man. And it jumps out. Look, I wish this team, and sometimes we don't see, and I think I don't even think it's a lost skill, but evaluating a player for instincts and being stout, there's a defensive word. I mean, you know what I mean? It's like, I want you to, if we can go through, man, and think about the 11 players we roll out on defense, how many players, man, fits that bill for being stout, for being somebody that, man, I'm telling you, man, that matters in the NFL, right? Yep. Bringing your hat, right? And putting somebody on their ass. We got defensive players that tackle. We don't got players that are stout, right?
I agree.
Think about that.
Yeah, just doing a scan in my head right now. I put Wilson, Gallimore. Maybe D-Law.
That's what I was going to say, but that's it.
That's it.
Right? That's a soft-ass defense when you can say that. Now I want you to think about, that's a soft-ass defense, because when we watch other teams, when you watch, brother, I watched Chicago's front seven and Tampa Bay in the Super Bowl. When you talk about when you see guys that are just stout, San Francisco, motherfuckers that are just, sorry about that, but just
it's a late night show. Do your thing.
Just coming downhill to get in your ass. Still, like, look, still with their responsibility, but they bring it. And that is a defensive trait that we just don't see. And I think it hurts us, man. I think it hurts us from a scheme standpoint and from a look, defense is an attitude. Right? Defense is a mental thing. We just don't got no players that I think the other team just look across and go, I don't want no part of him. Donovan Wilson, I think he's a guy that I think some, later on teams was like, okay, I know who he is.
Exactly.
But everybody else, they were like, what you gonna do?
Exactly. Jeff asked the question, can we bring in Adoree? I think the Lewis signing pretty much cancels that, in my opinion. I don't know, but we've got a pretty full cornerback room right now. We got 2 rookies when you consider Robinson and Diggs. Then you got 2 guys who are making $4 million each. Not a lot, unless you guarantee him a number 2 corner spot. It's not enough room to bring a guy in like Jackson, who's probably going to get $8 million at least.
So Marcus, you want me to go ahead and mark off when we get to that? Let me go ahead and mark him off then. Okay, go ahead.
Hey, that's just my opinion.
I'm about to say he was on my list too.
One of them, Marcus, I was like, oh shit.
Hey, that's just my opinion, though. I mean, if you guys think something different, I'm all for it. But
I like him, but I don't think they're going to open the checkbook for him or Kyle Fuller, who I would love.
I like Breland.
Man, I don't think Adoree Jackson. What's that?
Did Breland sign back to the Chiefs?
I haven't seen it.
So.
Okay, I thought he signed back. My mistake.
No, I don't know, man. I think that Adoree Jackson would be somebody we could afford, man. I mean,
you think so? Okay.
I mean, these last 2 years have been kind of injury riddled, right? So he played 3 games in just 2020, 11 games in 2019. So I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are going to be looking at that injury history, and they're going to try to cut him down a little bit. So
okay, well, let me ask this question since you guys put it out there. Okay. If we were to sign a corner, what's the magic number? Like, it can't be over X amount, or we can just cross them off our list. Because I think the number $6 million.
I was going to say 5, Marcus. I was going to say 5. Look, I don't think we have a shot. I agree with you, man, because when the money that you allocate to a position, and they always say follow the money in the NFL, right? I think when you look at the numbers and when you look at the money, I just don't. When you look at what they have left in the pie, as Jerry would say, I don't think they have it. I don't think they from you cannot pay another position, another player at that position group. So I don't. It's coming from the draft or it ain't coming. I don't think there's no shot that they sign another corner. They got, like you said, they got 2 of them making almost $4 million. Right. You add that money in, and it's like, I don't think they do it. Not when you need a safety and you need linebackers, like we already talking about it, right? And you need D-line depth. You need at least 2 linebackers now, probably, and you need safety.
At least 2 safeties, yeah.
Right.
And then on top of that, like you said, 1 corner spot's already gone. So are you going to bring in another $5-6 million guy when you got 2 $4 million guys on the team already? Unless I see Brown get cut tomorrow, I just can't see them bringing another high-priced corner in. But that's just my opinion.
I agree.
All right, guys. So we talked a little bit about Joe Thomas. How big do you guys think that loss is for this team? Lambo, we'll start with you. We've been kind of going to you last.
I thought Joe Thomas was our best linebacker last season.
I couldn't disagree.
But
I could.
I don't know. It's tough because we don't know what we got in Gifford or Bernard yet. So it's tough, man, because I really like Francis Bernard, and we've seen what he did in college in in pass coverage, which has been a weakness right now for us in our linebacking core. So if he can, I really want to see what he's got and what Gifford's got. But I think we can. He's like Brian just said, he's a depth loss. I think he's replaceable. It's not somebody we can't replace. I just hope we address it in the first 3 rounds.
Yeah, but $2 million though.
That is very low, man.
I could open the pockets up for $2 million for
$2 million. That's what shocked me. That's what shocked me. $2 million that you let a guy that it just I don't know, man. You wind up scratching your head when you look at again how this team builds a roster and the decisions. It's like I'm gonna give you. How do you decide to pay J. Lou over Joe Thomas. I don't even, if you're going to spend that money, I'm like, I don't even think that's close. When you got Robinson and Brown and Diggs, right, and a draft, right, coming, that's deep, in corner. So I don't know, but I agree with you. I just Thomas, for me, I thought he was one of those players that flashed when he got on the field. Like you saw him, he is what a linebacker's supposed to be. He reacts and gets downhill, and that's what I liked when I saw him in limited snaps, is that he was a player that got downhill.
Right.
To me, that told me that they're basically they're moving on, and they're either wanting to upgrade, or I say upgrade, but they're either going to draft a linebacker, or they're going to want to upgrade in free agency in some form or fashion. So I know KJ Wright is a guy that I have on my list. I don't know that we can afford him, but he is on my list. We can dive into that later. But
we have they said they're considering moving Jalen Smith to Sam, which I'd love to hear. So that leaves a glaring hole at will linebacker. So KJ Wright's definitely a guy that's in the running for that spot.
Perfect. Good.
All right, let me go through the comments a little bit, because everybody's kind of commenting back at the cornerback stuff. So I think we all kind of agree it's going to be hard to bring in another high-priced guy. So let's just throw a couple names out there and say, would you have signed this guy for $5 million over Jordan Lewis? All right, so let me go to the top. Start off with Dory Jackson. If you could have got him for $5 million, would you have signed him over Lewis? Everybody saying yeah? Yeah. All right. What about Kevin King? Would you have signed him over Jordan Lewis?
Nah.
Okay. I guess I don't have to say Kyle Fuller. I know that's a all-around yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He opened up the moonshine.
All right. What about Denard? Darqueze Denard over Jordan Lewis?
No.
I'm leaning no.
Okay. And we had a couple more. Let me see if I can find them.
Breeland.
I already know how you feel. Brashad Breeland, you guys, over Jordan Lewis.
Yeah.
Super Bowl experience. Got to go with that. Casey Hayward. What do you guys think about him?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. 100%.
J.C. Jackson. That one will probably cost you $5 million plus a draft pick, because he got that tender from the Patriots.
So I thought he already signed.
Yeah, he signed it, but you can make him an offer, and if they don't match, you can give up that I believe second round pick plus him.
That's right.
All right. So
about Richard Sherman, how do y'all feel about Richard Sherman?
I would be okay with it on something like a 1 year, just a 1 year deal.
I mean, when you look at Jordan Lewis's deal, it's really a 1 year deal.
Yeah.
You can cut him next year and get out of it.
Right.
And Mendoza says Breeland hates the Cowboys, so he doesn't think he will come anyway. Hey, that paycheck will make you real friendly.
Look, that's what I said. I heard Richard Sherman hated the Cowboys too until Jerry, when he needed a check.
Money talks.
All right, and Too Much Camber looks like it's a fan of you guys.
Hey, that's our girl.
Oh yeah. She said we invite the crazy guys on. Hey, they've been good so far. So shouts out to them. So she asked the question, do you think they try to move J. Lou to safety?
Nah.
No.
I don't think he's physical enough. I don't know.
I mean,
that is interesting though.
But we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. That's interesting though.
I've heard that. I've heard a lot of speculation about that. I don't see it. That's just me. But I mean, I guess you're gonna put him at free. I don't know that I love that. I don't know if I've seen enough in his game that would prove that he would be good at free. So I don't think so.
If we get a safety, I need a real safety. I don't need any more projects.
No.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys this: are you guys all out on ET at this point?
You had to do it.
Ask his wife first.
That's wrong, man.
If she leaves him alone, I might consider him. But if they still together, nah, I don't need her in Dallas or him.
I mean, for the money, the scheme fit for the. I mean,
that's not a lot of train that people want to be on, right?
I don't know.
I was all for it all last year. That was, man, I stood on the table for him and wanted that guy so bad. And I still think there was some left to his game. I still think he's got plenty left. What started to scare me is that he went an entire year without getting signed by anybody.
Right.
So to me, that tells me they know something that we don't know. Or he would have. He's too talented. He's too talented.
Oh, I definitely agree. Yeah. All right. Oh, another cornerback. He signed to another team, but Desmond King. How do you guys feel about him? Not a fan.
I was upset to see that it was only 3.5.
3.5 million. Yeah, I was upset about that too.
I felt like that was a good deal for him.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We got about 20 more minutes, so make sure you stick with us. Make sure you keep these great comments coming in. You guys are really fueling the show tonight, and we appreciate that. So now we're about to get to the fun part where we talk about the free agents that we have signed from other teams. And I know Jeff loves Desmond King. I'm a fan of him too.
You like LaMarcus Joyner too, didn't you, Marcus?
Yeah, at free safety, but
he just Ian Rappaport just reported that LaMarcus Joyner is about to sign with the Jets. Yeah. And he's going to be able to play safety like he's been wanting to rather than nickel like he did last year.
He's definitely a better safety than them. They put the dollar amount up there?
Nope, not yet.
He's going to get paid, though.
He's getting paid. Yeah.
No, he's getting paid. Didn't he get franchised or he got where's he coming from? The Rams? Where did he come from?
Raiders. He was franchised by the Rams and then he went to the Raiders and got paid. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Yeah, he's good.
Yeah. I think he'd be out of our price range. And
look, I think there's so many options out there for us that are cheap. You know who gets passed over every year, but always seems to at the safety spot? Trey Boston.
That's my guy.
I'm like, do you guys understand that? I'm like, dude, you could probably get that dude for $3 million.
Mm-hmm. He signs damn near league minimum contracts every year,
and then grades out in the top half.
He gets five interceptions and 10 pass deflections. I think there's an issue in the locker room with him. It's got to be pretty big. It's got to be because he's too talented not to just stick with a team.
Right.
All right, guys. So before we talk about this free agency, we got our super fan, Cowboy Dale, who's going to come in and talk to us a little bit about how he feels about free agency. So give us 1 minute, take a look at this video, and then we'll come back and talk some free agency.
Jerry and Steven, man, come on. Damn. What's taking so long, man? Hey, you guys are moving so slow, my hair's going out of style, man. Look, I'm getting madder than a three-legged dog trying to bury a turd in an icy pond, man. Come on. You guys make about as much sense as titties on a bull, man. Look, I can't take it anymore, man. I'm sitting around waiting. Everybody in Cowboys Nation's waiting, and we're like, oh, we drafted great last year. Things are changing around here. We went best player available, man. Things are about to change. Not the same old boys this year, I'll tell you what. Damn lies, man. Damn lies. The most excitement I've had is us firing our punter, man. And that should have been done, like, last year. What in the world? I can't take it anymore, man. Ooh! Ow! Whoa! You're making me crazy, man. Whoa! Ow! Yeah! Look, man. Can you sign somebody, man? Damn. And hush, Jane Slater. Yes, I'm being reasonable. Okay, maybe I'm not being reasonable. I don't know anymore, man. But look, we got to do something different and address the defense, guys. We can't keep plugging defensive starters in that we got from the Dollar Tree. You know what I'm saying, man? Come on, boys. Let's sign someone to help us out, man. Hey, I will say, though, at least we got my quarterback. Oh, that's how Dak does it. Ow! Ow! That's how Cowboy Dale does it. I'm going to go watch HGTV. To hell with this. I don't care.
All right, guys, that was super fan Cowboy Dale giving us his takes on free agency. So,
Oh man, that dude's fucking crazy.
yeah,
The hell's wrong with that guy, man?
I don't know, man.
Look like he come from my hometown. That's
where you from, Zach?
from a small town called Shepherd, Texas.
Oh, okay.
Population about 2,000.
We don't know where Cowboy Dale comes from, but
I like Cowboy Dale. He had me at titties.
It's a town of 5,000 in Jonesboro, Tennessee.
Hey, look, Cowboy Dale, I was doing this. He said titties. I went, what?
Oh man, that's awesome.
Marcus usually gives me a heads up when he's gonna throw Dell on there, so I wasn't even expecting. It was a surprise.
hey, whenever Cowboy Dale posts something, I gotta put it up there for the people to see.
Brian, you got your Cowboy Dale shirt in the mail today, didn't you?
I need one of those. You gotta give me a Cowboy Dale shirt.
All right, guys, we're at 57 minutes. Got about another 15 more minutes to talk about this free agency. It's not really much to talk about, so we'll try to stretch it out as far as we can. Again, guys, keep those comments coming in. You guys really fuel the show. So let's get your support in here. Let's get all the great comments that you guys have. So now we talk about the free agent signings, and we'll start off first. I mean, not much to say, but we signed a long snapper. LP finally retired after
Finally gone.
God knows how many years, and we got the long snapper from the Rams, who's familiar with our special teams coach. You guys have any thoughts about that either way? Darryl, you got anything for us on that? You got a scouting report?
Morton Salt. When you're feeling shitty, use it. It's time for a commercial break.
He's a two-time Pro Bowler.
I ain't got nothing, man. I ain't got nothing. He has great form.
Right. Well, that's how we kicked off free agency. And Dominique, I'll get to your point in a minute. We'll talk about that when we close the show out, because that's a topic that we definitely need to hit on before we get out of here. So today was a pretty busy day in free agency. We started off with Carlos Watkins, our defensive tackle from Houston. Then we followed that up with another defensive tackle, Brent Urban, DT from Chicago. And then we rounded the day off with Terrell Basham, outside linebacker / defensive end from the Jets. Now, before you guys talk, I don't know what to think about this, but every guy we signed came from a 3-4 defense. That was unusual to me.
That's an interesting point. Yeah.
Maybe they see them potential in them as being better as 4-3 ends.
I mean, I see the potential as well, but we can't get one guy who played a 4-3. I mean, I would have
awfully risky.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you got? Let's start off with. I don't know. I don't even know who you guys are familiar with. So you guys tell me a guy you're familiar with, and let me know what you think about him. I had no clue who Brent Urban was before.
I didn't either. I like his little air guitar dance. I found it though. He's got some swagger to him. Yeah. He's 6'7". He's got some swagger to him. He's blocked a couple. He's blocked some field goals.
Yep.
I heard he had a really high run grade. I think he had the 3rd best run grade in the league last year, or something crazy like that.
Yeah, it's the only thing I saw about him.
So I mean, that made me happy alone, because we really need people to help us stop the run.
So are you guys familiar with any of these guys? Like, honestly,
not really. Carlos Watkins, a little bit of familiarity just because I'm from Houston, so I watch those games every once in a while because it might be all that's on. But Same with him, man. I mean, he's your typical prototype as far as his size goes, 6'3", 300 pounds, 27 years old. He got 27 tackles last year and 2.5 sacks. So I watched a little bit of him, man. He's not bad. What I can say about most of these guys, even with the signing yesterday, the tackle with Ty Nasheki, I believe how you say his name.
Yeah,
Buffalo. These are all just seem to be rotational guys. Either rotational or camp bodies. We'll kind of see. Maybe they do come in and compete and make something of themselves. But right now, it just feels like they're all rotational guys.
Right.
You know.
I'll say this. I don't know any of those guys, but here's what I'd be interested in is what attribute. Because if you know Quinn's scheme, and I'm out here in Seattle, so I've spent, the last how many ever years with this Pete Carroll defense.
Yeah.
Us and Cam, we know what it's about. And you never saw Seattle's defensive front. They never had no Pro Bowl dude, right?
Mm-hmm.
They always had, and I think what you're going to see from this Quinn front is it's going to be a multiple front with some tendencies of right that 3-4 1 gap get up feel, right? I bet you what you'll see in all those guys is their get off. Something in there, once I start looking, if they have really good get offs, I think what we're going to start getting in our D tackles is more of the Marinelli type, you know what I mean? Get up feel, tackle the running back on the way to the quarterback, that philosophy. I think that's what Quinn wants is guys that can, that got that quick twitch, get off the ball, get in a gap, shoot it, get upfield and disrupt. And so they may not be a name, and I'm critical of them, right? They may not be a name, but if they're young and got that get off, I bet you that's what Quinn's looking at.
That's a great point you made because I'm in a group chat with a bunch of other knowledgeable Cowboy fans, some of them more knowledgeable than me. And I made that comment like, these look like Marinelli guys. All of them do. One thing I know is that I'm familiar with Watkins and Basham because I'm just a college football head, so I follow top 100 guys closely. They all have 34-inch arms, which is freakishly long.
Yeah.
That's one thing that stood out to me. Watkins came out of Clemson. He can bull rush as good as anybody. That's all he can do, though.
Right.
If you need somebody to get a guard and put him in the quarterback's face, he'll do it every time. And sometimes he'll knock the guard into the quarterback and get a sack out of it, but that's about all he's going to give you. Terrell Basham, he knows how to use his length well, but to me, he's just a rotational guy. And like you said, they may have those traits that we like. I'm okay with the defensive tackles. I'm okay with that because certain positions you can't always get a name.
Right.
But at defensive end, my concern is, and we talked about this before we started, Randy Gregory hasn't played a full season his whole career. And we don't have a backup for him right now. So if I'm going to get a guy, I want to get a guy that I know can at least start 8 games and be productive if I need him to, in case something happens with Gregory in terms of off the field or on the field, because he has an injury history as well. And the lunatic talks about Dorrance Armstrong going to be in a fight for his job finally.
Ugh. Sorry. Ugh.
That's that Patrice O'Neal style.
I was wrong about him.
Yeah, and Dominique talks about the Houston cast-offs. They've been 3 for a long time.
You got to look for this team, Marcus. We got to look when you really understand where we got gashed, and it is players and scheme to me. But man, they got to get stout up the middle. You can have guys coming off the edge all you want, but unless you get a push up the middle, and that's where quarterbacks don't like in the NFL. They don't care nothing about. We get caught up as fans about those guys coming off the edge, but if you notice, Russell Wilson and them cats, they don't give a damn about them cats coming off the edge. It's Aaron Donald. They don't care nothing because they get to step up. That's where Tom Brady makes a living. He don't care nothing about you coming off the edge. Drew Brees, all them cats, if you listen to them, they always talked about they hated pressure in their face. And where were we the weakest? We never got push on pass downs up the middle. Never. And so that's where I think we got to get players that can either get off and get upfield, or Marcus, like you said, your boy. So what? Fine. If he can get that guard, think about what we hated about Connor Williams, right? He would get pushed back in the DAC. And if we can get players and interior D linemen that can do it one of two ways, you either get there with your get off, or you get there with your power and your bull rush. But we gotta get push up the middle.
All right.
The more I look at real quick, I'm sorry. The more I look at this list, I think to myself, how much did Fossil have to do with these guys? Because this seems like some special teams players. And
that's a great point.
I mentioned, or somebody mentioned the other day with the tackle Ty Nsekhe from Buffalo. He's 6'8", 325. I heard that they had brought him in just to specifically block kicks. So I don't know that when I look at this list, I'm like, you know what? These look like maybe these are specific special teams guys that Fossil was looking at.
Yeah.
And maybe that's just where we're starting, right? We're starting from the outside in. So
okay.
That's a good point.
I got to put this up there because I almost turned my mic over. Look at LaMarcus Joyner's contract.
What?
Really?
No way.
See, when that stuff happens, that makes me mad, man.
Really?
No way. Wait a minute, we got to look that up. That can't be right. No way.
Dominique's usually pretty on this type of stuff.
Yeah, he's usually.
Yeah.
What?
That don't make sense, man.
I don't get that one at all.
Like that fits a need right there.
Morton Salt.
I need
when you're feeling shitty and you want to when you want your wound to sting, use Morton.
Followed by Old Smoky Moonshine.
I think I would pass on that one. $4.5 million, and then he's going to that Jets game with Salah from the Niners. Yeah, that's a perfect signing for them.
Yep.
You know that's a product of not even making the call, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a product of even we can't get him, not even making a
Yeah. I agree.
You know, after seeing that and a few others that we've seen, they have got to be getting on the phone right now and at least hitting up everyone out there that they don't think that's not in our price range. They need to contact them anyways because there's a lot of dudes going for very fair prices.
Can you guys believe that Dalvin went for we were talking in our chat groups, that cat is $11 million a year?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I thought he was going to command at least a 16, 17 APY, but $11 million. Yeah. 2 years, 22? And you don't mean wow.
And to add on what you said there, they said they're playing him at 3-tech. That's a premier position. That's not even nose tackle.
Right.
At nose tackle, I would say, okay, I would expect them to get more, but okay. But as a 3-tech and you're making $11 million, that's a bargain.
It's a bargain, man.
Yeah.
And then you like what, 26?
Yep. 26, 27.
This is a cornerback that I don't think his name kind of gets brought up enough, but Malcolm Butler, man, he had a sneaky good season last year, right? He had 100 tackles, 4 interceptions, 14 passes defense. I mean, he had a damn good solid season, and I believe 2019, 2 interceptions. I think over the past 3 years with the Titans, he's had 9 interceptions. So man's over there still making plays, and at 31 years old, he may take a little bit of a veteran, minimum. I don't know. I don't know. It's something to consider. It's a name that I would definitely look at.
Yeah, the only thing I really like about the Joyner signing is maybe that sets the market for these other free safeties. Maybe that puts their market a little bit lower than we thought were. Some of these guys we thought might be getting 6, 7, 8 million. Maybe they're closer to 5. And the safety market's still wide open.
Wide open. But I also read that a lot of these guys, because of the cap next year, they're taking these 1-year prove-it deals, and then they're going to get back in free agency when that cap goes up in 22. So we're going to see a lot of these, these players. They're going to bet on themselves this year and not sign these long-term deals for under market value. They're going to sign these 1-year deals. Yeah. That's even further proof why Dallas is not on the phone, right, with some of these players, even getting that 1-year rental. So
right,
I'm all for that. All for it.
And
Did you see? Now this dude ain't got a verified check next to his name or whatever. He's got 2,500 followers. I don't know him. His name's CJ Golson, but a few people are starting to share it, and our dude Skywalker still commented on his post as well. This was not long ago, but it says per source, Cowboys and Patriots have had preliminary trade talks surrounding Michael Gallup and Stephon Gilmore. Nothing close to resembling a deal reached, but both sides motivated. I don't know if it sounds kind of like it could be complete BS, but it's got me interested.
All day.
It's got me interested.
If you could do that, I would do that deal all day. And I know Homeboy is a little older though, right?
Gilmore be
31
this year, I believe.
Yes. How much is he making too? That's something we got to consider.
I believe his cap hit is 7.5. I don't know if that's his base salary. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you make that deal, Anthony Brown is gone. You make that deal and Anthony Brown is gone.
I would probably just cut him just to.
It could be fake. It could be fake, but
damn, that sounds right though. That's not unreasonable.
Yeah,
that's not unreasonable.
Yes, Skywalker commented on there. He said, "Not sure for real. I'm gonna dig."
His base salary is $7 million this year. So if you trade him, it would be 1 year, $7 million basically. And at 31, you could easily extend him out 2 or 3 years. He stay here.
Damn, you imagine him and Diggs?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice. That'd instantly make that secondary strong, man. If you go in the draft and pick you up a free safety in the second round.
And to me, that makes the floor wide open with that first round pick.
Oh,
you can go wherever you want. You can go receiver, left tackle. You can go defense. You can do whatever.
Oh, wait a minute now, player. Did you say receiver? Now hold on now.
If you wanted to,
hold on, Z.
If it's Jamar Chase.
See, this is why you and I fight, man, in front of people. Don't be putting our business out the street like this. You said we was gonna behave on here. Don't put our business in the street.
You said Jamar Chase. You said it. Heard it from you first.
Yep. I know Dominique's all on board on this one, and he's still having to pay Anthony Harris. I mean, you can get him, and that's the other thing people don't think about. I know you guys talk about the whole 1 year get back in there. If you can get a guy like Harris to take a 3-4 year deal, the dollar amount doesn't even matter. Year one, he's only going to get $5 million. Next year, he may be making 15, but the cap's going to explode, so it doesn't matter. Right. Whether it's a 1 year deal or a 20-year deal, the only thing I'm concerned about is what do we pay him now? Because everything else in the future, we can cover it.
Yeah.
So for people that say we can't afford Anthony Harris, don't believe that.
Yeah.
Unless he only takes a 1 year, $13 million deal. If it's more than 1 year, you can maneuver that contract however you want to make it work.
You think he'd get 13 though?
No.
Nah, it can't be that. No way.
That feels too high.
What safety just signed for 13 a year?
That was like a year or so back. That was the
I'm talking about this year.
I haven't seen a safety sign that big of a contract.
The last
Buda Baker.
The highest paid safety right now is
Eddie Jackson, right?
I thought it was Buda Baker.
It's one of those two. It's like 14 right now. Whoever the highest paid safety is. It's only that one guy though. Everybody else is 12, 13.
Until what's his face, to that linebacker from Seattle get his.
The linebacker.
Jamal Adams. With his linebacking ass. Talking about he a safety.
Speaking of linebacking ass, that's what Keanu Neal seems to be headed for.
Yep.
I'm seeing Kevin Byard, Tennessee Titans at $14 million.
Okay, he's worth it.
How much is Baker at, Z?
Oh, hold on. You're right. I think it is Buda. I think he's the one. Let's see. Yep. Barely edges him out. 14.75.
Yep. So there's been one high price safety so far in free agency, and that was Josh Johnson to Cleveland for 11.2.
I would have liked that deal.
I don't know where you think Anthony Harris compares to him, but I think he's a little bit better. I think he could garner 12 if he were to come to.
But guys, what's the delta? I mean, again, I'm going to come back and say it again. Trey Boston? I mean, guys, I am telling you, there is no way he comes in above 4.
I agree. Definitely.
I just don't get it. I mean, I'm making that call all day.
If it makes sense, it ain't gonna get done by the Joneses. Not right now.
Pretty much evident the past few years.
Exactly. Yeah.
They just don't value. I just don't get who told him this and where they started this bull crap with not valuing, you know what I mean, the D tackle and the safety spot. They literally throw stupidity at those 2 spots every year.
Every year.
Yep. Shouts out to West Coast for joining us. We're about to get off the air in a few minutes, but appreciate you.
What's up, West Coast?
Checking us out for a few minutes. Cowboys don't want no goons.
See, that's what we need, them goons.
We need goons.
We need goons.
Need them.
Shit, we need somebody that's gonna spit on somebody. Where Romanowski at? We need a motherfucker to just spit on somebody.
It's needed, man. You need that on defense. You
We
do.
do.
Dog,
Shit.
Want a dog.
Yeah, I don't know if West Coast has some type of algorithm that points out when people talk about trading Gallup, because I know he's on it as well. But I think people look at Gallup wrong because, like, honestly, what's the probability that Gallup's here next year? Like,
I don't think it's very likely.
It's not very likely.
So get what you can now.
Exactly. So people talk about, okay, Gilmore's 31, he's got a 1-year deal. Okay, Gallup's gone next year anyway. So compare apples to apples. For 1 year, does Gilmore give you more than Gallup gives you? If the answer is yes, you make the trade.
Yeah.
Now, if you think Gallup's gonna stay here for $12-13 million and sign an extended contract, I don't
unless you think Cooper's out the door, and I'm not getting rid of Cooper.
No.
And I don't like that.
It's
I mean,
not even close.
if you do that.
No.
So yeah, 1 year, you get what you can for him.
Can you guys believe, and me and Z talk about this all the time, I can't even believe the chatter out there in our fan base that talks about Cooper. That's a bad man. That brother's he's unguardable. He is unguardable. To me, he is a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Yeah, man.
The route running is insane. It's not close, man. When you watch the tape on this man,
even what he did last year with 4 quarterbacks. Was it 4 quarterbacks, starting quarterbacks? I mean,
still, he's a beast, man. He's a beast.
Right there, West Coast. We need some thugs on defense.
Yeah.
The lunatic, you say that, but I see the Chiefs pony up to pay Watkins $16 million for the past 2 years, 14 and 16. People are paying that kind of money for a wide receiver too.
Absolutely, they are. Yeah.
I mean,
he's gonna get good money.
We're
We're not gonna be able to afford him. Yeah. We're not gonna be able to afford him. At the end of the day, he's too much. And I would love to see him on, especially this year on this team with the weapons we have and CeeDee Lamb growing, for one more year. And it would be amazing to see. But to your point, how does that help you when your defense is struggling that much?
I mean, trade him and draft you a what's his name? Is it? I'm probably gonna say his name. A Jalen Darden.
Yeah, North Texas.
North Texas. Get you that man.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys out there in this draft in those mid rounds that can come in and do just fine.
You better find it surprising, guys, that they tendered Cedric Wilson from Boise. You don't do that if think about it. We've already talked about Noah Brown. You mean you're gonna pay your number 6 guy $2 million plus?
Right, exactly.
I don't think so.
Exactly.
Something don't smell right. Just saying.
Yep, you're right. Gotta follow the money. And
Follow
like
the money.
West Coast said, 2 receivers worse than Gallup got paid over $10 million. Nelson Aguilar is making $11 million a year, guys.
Yeah.
Is he a number 2? And he's getting $11 million from the Patriots.
Gallup's worth more than him. So, yeah, that's too much for me.
Curtis Samuels was a number 3 in Carolina, and he's getting $12 million.
Yeah.
Corey Davis is a number 2 in Tennessee. He's getting $12.5 million.
There you go.
The number's going up.
It's going up.
You're not getting Gallup for cheap next year, guys.
No. He ain't gonna be in our price range, man. There's no way.
No way.
I just don't see it. And he's gonna want to go where loyalty is one thing, but he's gonna go. He's gonna want to go where the money is, you know?
Right.
And where he can showcase his talent. You already got a young up and coming CeeDee Lamb there. I mean, the writing's kind of on the wall. Everybody knows.
It may not be popular, but again, man, it's a business, and it's like, you know, his value is never going to be higher. You just don't in this game. That's crazy, and we all saw what happened to Dak. You don't let Gallup touch the field, man. He has value that you need, and I mean, I would love to see. I mean, obviously, he's a player here, and he's made plays, but they got to stop trying to pay everybody who makes plays for you instead of leveraging that into. It's just salary cap stuff, and none of us wants to talk about that as a fan base, but you got to manage that thing and massage it, and you can't pay everybody who's good. You got to flip them into draft capital sometimes, right? And that's what got them in this predicament that they're in now. They tried to pay everybody. It would have been popular, but man, they should have traded some of them linemen when they were at their, you know, to try to pay all those linemen and Zeke and then Cooper. That's why I was one of those people that I was on here yelling that it wasn't, you know, the whole Dak thing. I'm like, you can't afford to do that kind of stuff. You can't have, you know, Kansas City does it, but man, you can't pay 7 offensive players top 2 position money. It's just incredible.
Right.
You know, it's a numbers game.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I'd like to see them flip Gallup into something that we could use because he has value.
Yep.
There's the draft chase talk again.
And
he ain't gonna make it to 10, man. There ain't no way.
If he does,
that'd be crazy.
If he does, look, draft. Here you go. You draft Chase at 10. You trade Gallup away. You get Ardarius Washington in the 2nd round, and find a way to sign Kyle Fuller, and we are legit.
Kyle Fuller. Kyle Fuller. I was thinking of the guy.
I've loved him. Ain't he from Virginia Tech? Didn't he play at Tech?
Yep.
Yeah.
He was legit. He was legit.
And Dominique kind of piggybacked on what you said there, talking about just resource allocation.
Right.
I mean, you like he says, you expect Lamb to be at worst wide receiver 2.
Yeah.
Next year or the year after. At worst.
Yeah.
So now you're arguing, is Gallup going to leapfrog Cooper, which I don't think he will, but so you're not talking about paying your number 3 receiver in the teens of millions. It's not a good way to build your roster.
No. It's not. It's about roster building. It's not a good allocation, right? Of just funds in a cap. You know what I mean? In a cap system.
Yep. And then West Coast says, do you really think he wants to stay in Dallas? That money is going to be coming to him hard and fast. Like, seriously.
Yeah. And it's not just the money too. It's like he wants an opportunity to shine, right?
He wants to be the guy.
He's been living under the shadow of Coop this whole time, and then, like I say, you bring in a young guy. Like he's like, okay, I'm getting lost in the sauce.
Yeah,
it's time for me to take my talent somewhere else.
And we talk about Joe Thomas going to Houston for $2 million. I would assure you that he saw Benerick McKinney get traded, and he's like, "There's a starting spot open right there that I can play in. Do I want to play behind Jalen Smith, who I probably think I'm better than, or do I want to go to Houston where I see an opening that I know I could fill and compete and have a chance to get paid next year, even though he's probably 30 years old. He could still get paid if he's a starting linebacker. He wouldn't have that chance in Dallas.
I agree.
Which is a shame.
Yeah, it's more than numbers. It's playing time as well. All right, before we get out of here, let's just do a quick around the table. We got a couple of guys who have not signed to a team yet, who were on the team last year. So we'll just go around real quick. Yes or no? Do you think we should resign them? Number 1, Tyrone Crawford.
No.
Okay.
I
wanted him gone with some cap savings last year.
Yeah, me and Lambo both. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I can't believe. Can you guys? I can't believe we paid him last year.
Salt. You did that.
There it is. The salt.
Yeah.
When you pay a number 3 D tackle like a starter, Tyrone Crawford.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. He shouldn't have been on the roster last year.
No.
All right. Next guy, Alden Smith.
Oh, I'm like, it depends on the money for me.
That's it. If the price is right. If the price is right. If you can get him at a cheap deal, why not, man? Why not? It's just
I'll
rotational.
tell you that. Yeah, and I'm just not. Look, I think the NFL, and that's why I get tired of doing. The NFL is a young man, young bulls game, and Alden Smith is old, and if you take the emotion out of it, he did. I mean, he had a couple of games, but that was it. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, 5 sacks. I mean, yeah, it was all.
And like 3 of them was in one game.
Here's why I'm both ways on that, because he also, he had 5 sacks and it was all at the beginning of the season and they tapered off, right?
Yep.
But the man hadn't played football forever. So you don't think he's going to come back and be better the next year with a full off season and training and, not the COVID related stuff that he had to deal with? I think he'll be better. And if it's a cheap deal like it was last year, why not, man? Why not?
The lunatic is right on the same lines I am. Seattle wanted him last year. They settled for Carlos Dunlap.
I tell you what, though, Seattle is in luck. Carlos Dunlap came up here to the Seahawks and he did his thing. I think they're gonna sign him. I don't think they're gonna go after Alden Smith.
Okay. What do you think? They paid him $14 million last year? How much you think their re-up's gonna be?
Ooh. Did they pay him that much when they traded for him?
That's
his salary?
That's how much his salary was last year, yeah.
Oh, dang, I didn't know that.
Yep. that's why he only went for a 7th.
Never mind. My bad.
I don't know what their re-up's gonna be. If they felt they were about the same, I'm sure Alden Smith's gonna be a lot less than that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it ain't close.
So West Coast says Joe Thomas was good, but $2 million is a lot for a guy to play 30% of the snaps. We could say that, but if you look at the writing on the wall, we got Brown and Lewis at 4.5. One of those guys is going to be a number 4 corner.
Right.
If they're both here.
Yeah. And what do you got in depth?
Yeah, one of them. That's why, like you said, Brown might not be here this season.
And Thomas can play all 3 positions too. That's a value you can't look over, especially when Van Der Esch
gets
can only
hurt
play
as
8
often.
games a year. And you just don't know what Jalen's going to be at next year in terms of his position.
Yep, $2 million is worth it to me. All
right, so next guy, another fan favorite, Xavier Woods. You bring him back?
Hell no.
Not even the price is right, huh?
Nah, I mean, it's because he only plays what did he say, 75% of the time?
Right.
Yeah, that's man, you don't want to hear that in your starting free safety.
I don't. That was the nail in the coffin on him for me. I was like, get ready. I don't even want to look at him no more, man.
There's so many. Yeah.
I want some dogs in this defense. Anybody who would say that openly, especially to the media, God bless America.
Right.
Get out of here. Get out this team, man. I don't want
his number should be real cheap just from that one statement, though.
That's it. He pulled money out of his own pockets.
Exactly.
There's going to be some good safeties in the 2nd, 3rd round range, too, that I'd be really interested in us going for. So we'll see.
Yep. And like Jeff said, that comment sealed his fate. All right. So last guy, a real fan favorite, more off the field than on, Joe Looney. You bring Joe Looney back.
No, I can't stand his.
I like Joe Looney.
Non-stout, joke cracking, getting bowled over. Crazy. Yeah, I'm tired of this team. No, I wouldn't bring Joe Looney back. His weak ass. Do y'all watch? I mean, every time he tries to set, he gets bowled over. I watched him get clubbed down he went from the 1 gap to the 7. He got rushed. I was like, man, nah, man, I don't like him.
What was that last year? He got smoked and he got pushed into somebody else. Somebody took it. It was Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald at the beginning of the year, right?
Oh yeah.
Took out 2 people. I mean, it's Aaron Donald.
He took out 3 people.
He took out.
I know what you're talking about. He just wiped out the whole middle of their line. Like,
yeah. Not if it's starter type money, I mean, if the money's, it's another situation for me where if the money's right, I like him not in a starter role, but I like him as a depth piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the said, but we don't know what McGovern is. Like, we still have no clue.
Yeah.
Tyler B, going back to last year in his last year of college, he hasn't shown us he can play a full season. So are we really gonna rely on him to be our anchor in the middle, or Connor McGovern, which we haven't seen at all, play center, kind of hold down the fort?
No.
That's an interesting one to me. I don't know. I'm with you, Darryl, but not knowing the center spot is just so important in terms of calling out the blitzes and stuff like that. It's almost worth it to have a guy who knows how to call it, even if he's getting his ass kicked.
I mean, he had a solid season for us. What in 2019, right? Is when he started center for us for all 16, I believe. And he did solid. I mean, obviously he's not Travis Frederick, but for that depth, I mean, that's important, man. That's important. You have to have it. And if the price, again, that's a price thing, man. If the price is right, of course I keep him.
See, and for me, again, it's about that whole allocate. I don't think Dallas can afford. You got to hit on either guys that are cheap or in the draft, because you're paying Collins, Smith, and Martin. That means those other two, those got to be draft guys or guys that are fairly cheap. And Looney, as a vested veteran, it just becomes, again, for me, it's a roster position sort of allocation. I just don't think there's no way, unless he forces you to. He's that good where he forces you, you know what I mean, to get outside that methodology. And I don't see Looney as a guy who forces you to have to pay him.
Yeah,
I can agree with that. One thing I will say, though, this draft in terms of centers is pretty much non-existent. So if you get a guy, you better pray he can be productive, or that you got a guy on the roster who can fill their spot in, like a McGovern or Mitch Hyde, or I think Redmond, who's coming back, maybe. So, yeah. Definitely something to think about. All right, guys, we're at an hour and a half. I think we're about to wind this thing down. Again, I appreciate you guys for joining us. Before we go, let's go through real quick, and we won't put positions. We won't put names on it because we know Dallas will never pick anybody that we want them to pick. So give me your wish list for 3 positions that you want us to address in free agency. And you can say one position twice or whatever you want to do. What 3 positions?
I'll go first. I'll take it out there, guys. I'd love to see us address safety, linebacker, and linebacker.
Okay. Zach, what you got?
So I got my wish list and I got my players.
Okay. If you want to put them out,
we're gonna put them together. We're gonna do the whole thing.
So let me make my list. Let me scratch. If you have them on your list, I can scratch them off. We won't touch them.
Okay.
So go ahead.
All right. Cornerback. I want Malcolm Butler. I think you can get him at a decent price. I think he makes it work. I think he makes his team better. Defensive tackle. I want Sue, man. I want him. He's one of those nasty players we talked about. Has that nasty mentality. Came in 6 sacks last year. Had a really good season. 1 forced fumble. A type B player I'd be looking at is Danny Shelton, possibly. And my linebacker is going to be KJ Wright. So
okay,
that's what
all right. Now, what you got?
I'd like to see a safety, a linebacker, and a cornerback. And like Jeff, me and Jeff usually always at the same time.
Yep.
But I'm with you on KJ Wright. And also I do want to mention Sue. I would love to see a nasty guy like him as well. But yeah, so safety, linebacker, and corner is who I'd like to see.
Yeah.
I still feel like they can get some quality pieces with what's left in free agency right now. So I'm hoping any minute or any day here soon we see one of them.
Yeah.
Hopefully they open up the pocketbook.
Right.
Yeah. Hey Marcus, by the way, my co-host just spent $20 million. Tell him to tell you where he gonna get it from.
I hope you like D-Law for another 5 years.
He just spent $20 million, y'all.
I'm with you on that one. If you like, I hope you like Jalen and D-Law because that restructure is coming.
Exactly. See, that's what, right?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Or Coop.
And Jeff, let me have this, please. I'm not giving up on him. Clemson Tiger, Mitch Hyde. Anytime my offensive line position comes up, I bring up Mitch Hyde's name, and Jeff always calls me on it. All right, well, for me, I still want to say D tackle, but looking at the 2 guys we picked up, I feel like the combination of those 2 kind of gives you what you want. You have one guy that's known for playing the run. and then you have one guy who's known for pushing the pocket. I wish I could have one guy that does both, but I just can't see them bringing in that one guy when you got these two. And the numbers haven't come out yet, but I'm sure they're both league minimum guys. So I'm going to scratch D tackle off. So I'm going linebacker, safety. We only have one safety on this team, in my opinion. I don't even say his name anymore. The guy who?
Is it Pittman 23?
Pittman.
What's his name?
Oh,
Darian Thompson.
Darian Thompson.
Oh,
I don't even count him as a safety anymore.
No.
He's a special teams guy. Right now, the only safety we have is Donovan Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed me something. I like him. Still not 100% sold on him, but if we rocking with him, I have no problems with it. But we don't have anyone in that free safety slot. Not a single player. The draft looks good, but I can't go into the draft with a gaping hole at one position where I can't say I have this name at least in pencil. So I need to have at least one safety backing up Wilson or competing with Wilson, and I need one safety that I can say I may not love him, but if he had to start, I wouldn't cry at night. And he won't be as horrible as Wood showed me he was. So that's kind of where I am.
Should bring back Quentin Dix, man.
Okay.
Hell no.
If Marcus Joyner is going for $4.5 million, I should have my pick at safety at this point. Outside of Anthony Harris, I should be able to just call up anybody and say, "Look, here's $5 million. Come on."
Go.
Like it's ridiculous.
It is. And there's options, man. There's plenty of options. I heard him tied to Kenny Vaccaro at one point in time.
Yeah.
Dude, when is he? I thought he retired.
Yeah.
Still in it, man. Still in it.
Seriously.
It's been a long time.
Yep. All right. So, Jeff, I think they did officially move Reggie Robinson in the corner, which they should have never moved him in the first place. So I think you can count him in that corner group. And you think about that cover 3 scheme, he's the perfect cover 3 corner. All right. And Brian kind of joking around, said, "Do they look at haha?" The laughing emojis.
Malik Hooker gonna be the signing.
Yeah. What do
I
you
think
guys
it's more likely that DeMonte KZ could be the
What do
guy.
you guys think about Hooker since we talk about that?
I love it. I love it. I love it if again, I mean, I keep saying this, I keep repeating this, but if the deal is right, of course it should be. The amount of injuries that he's had, but it's one of those, I mean, why not? Why not kick the tires on that man? I mean, the injuries have added up.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work out, I mean, put something in the clause, man. Put something in the paperwork. Okay. I mean, just like they did McCoy last year that protects them. But the talent that he has possessed is phenomenal, man. I mean, he wasn't a first round pick for nothing. I know a lot of first round picks flop. I still believe he has that ability. And if he plays a full healthy season, I think he can get back close to what he was.
If we were to take Hooker, I would have to see it kind of like what we just did at D tackle. There needs to be another signing like right after him, because I can't go into a season with saying Hooker's going to be my guy.
No doubt. Yeah.
And his price is going to have to reflect the fact that he may miss 8 games.
Yeah, man, we got to remember that they still got Tristan Hill coming back, and that's a second round pick. When you add him to the signings today, and you add him to Gallimore, I think we got who we gonna get. I don't think you're gonna get another big signing out of that position group.
Yeah, probably not. Hill really was looking good last year before his injury.
Yep.
Surprisingly,
his get off.
I was eating crow. I was eating crow about him.
I am going to watch him because I think in Quinn's scheme and what he asks or wants again, that Marinelli thing, because that was always his thing. He was never a stout guy that was going to hold a gap. But I think if his knee injury or whatever he had, if he heals from that, that was his strength. His get off was his strength. So him and Gallimore could be very, very interesting guys as our starting D tackles. If you had some studs behind them, I think those two would actually be okay.
Yeah, with Woods there as well, chipping in at nose.
Oh, see, I ain't say all that. Marcus tried to sneak that shit in on me. He tried to, you know, I'm salty when you when you are feeling down and you want to add bitterness to your wounds. Morton Salt.
All right, guys. Well, we're about to get out of here. Before we go, I think Lambo's computer about to die. So before we get out of here, Lambo, let them know where they can find you at.
You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon at Cowboys Y'all, and on Instagram at Cowboys Y'all 88. Most of all, please subscribe on YouTube. It helps a lot. Trying to get to 1,000.
All right, guys. Star Boyz, again, thank you guys so much. You came in and dropped some knowledge. You guys were entertaining. I appreciate all the input that you gave today. Let the people know where they can find you at and when they can watch you.
It was fun, man. First of all, thank you guys. Thank you guys for having us on. You can find me at Zach Star Boyz right down there on the handle. You can see it. And make sure you go and follow Star Boyz podcast. That's Star Boyz with a Z. Also Star Boyz Show. Make sure you look that up on YouTube. Check out our YouTube channel, like and subscribe.
Yeah, right on. And hey, man, I'm with my boy, and I enjoyed you, brothers, and it was a good time, man. You can find me on Twitter. I'm at Cowboys253 for life out here in Seattle. So hit me up, give me a follow, and let's continue to do this thing, man.
All right, guys. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Bluff City Cowboys. On YouTube, Bluff City Cowboys as well. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Help me get those subscribers up. I'm just barely over 100. So I'm trying to get to that next level. So with your support, I know I can get there. Find me on Twitter at Bluff Cowboys. And again, make sure you go find these guys, tune in to their podcast. Do you guys have a regular night that you come on, day or time?
Nah, man, my schedule's all over the place. So
Okay.
just kind of whenever we can get around to stuff. And like I said, this freeze kind of took out my my Star Boyz office. So we're slowly building back up, man. But we're gonna get our stuff back out there here pretty soon.
I just subbed you guys on YouTube as we speak.
So as you guys can see, these guys are entertaining. They know their stuff. They're true Cowboy fans. So add them to the list of all the different podcasts you guys watch, because I know our fan base watches every podcast that's out there. So if you're not following them already, make sure you go subscribe. That's it for the Cowboy Zone tonight. We'll be back next week, 7:30 Central Standard Time, Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We don't know what we're going to talk about yet. It'll probably be free agency or the draft. We haven't done a mock draft in about a month, so we may come back and do our final mock draft of the year before we get into the actual draft. So again, appreciate all the likes, appreciate all the support. I'm Marcus. This is Lambo, and we are out. You guys have a good week.
See y'all later.